What's up to Lion Talk Live? So we love you too, buddy.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
What's going on, Coach Dan at Lions Talk Live and the Duke Crew. This is Ball Hawk Ifeatu Melifonwu of the Detroit Lions. Everybody make sure you help support the YouTube channel Lions Talk Live by clicking that like and subscribe button. Let's get it and go Detroit.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live and Coach Dan by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
I love nothing more than watching Lions Talk Live every morning. Woo!
You betcha, Sheila Fordham. Nobody loves nothing better in life than watching Lions Talk Live, especially when we start a whole minute early. Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host once again, Dan Thornton. And I want to thank you all for joining us here today, Sunday, the day after the Lions have a huge come from behind, last second kick for a win, all that kind of stuff. Preseason game, your number ones versus our twos and threes, and we're still on the scoreboard better than you. So, yes, we've got a little bit of debate today. We got some stuff to talk about. And like we talked about during the live cast yesterday, I really feel like that game there would be the game that would solidify 95% of the roster. Let's see what your guys' thoughts are. My anticipation is there's probably really only about 4 or 5 spots still available, unless somebody was to completely tank, I guess, the next week of practice before the final preseason game, all that kind of stuff. But I don't anticipate that's going to happen. I really feel when we get to the next preseason game, if you're a 1 or a 2, you're not playing in this game. If you're on the 3rd string, 4th string, or 29th string, you're probably playing, and the coaches really don't care what happens in the game. So, all right, real quick, before we get into the meat of the show, a couple things as you may or may not know. If you haven't yet subscribed, please consider doing so. We're about 90 subs away from hitting 7,400. So if you can help out with the channel getting to 7,400, pretty please consider doing so. Also, if you would be so kind, it's free of charge, takes half a second of time. Hit that thumbs up button, that like button, all of the above button. We try to get each video between 200 to 300 or more thumbs up or likes. Helps the channel out a lot. It helps it grow. Last but never least, if you are considering buying or selling property anywhere in the great state of Michigan, you can give me a call or shoot me a text. You can see the number on the screen. Well, now you can. 269-998-2384. Outside of being a YouTuber, a coach, whatever, I have been a realtor for about 30-some years. So if you got a half second of time, you want to have a conversation via phone call or text, you can reach out to me and see what we can do to help save you a little bit of money and make the process of buying property a whole lot easier. Vacant land, commercial property, or a new house for yourself, go ahead and give me a call. All right, with all the formalities out of the way, let's get the show going with the first segment before we get the main topic of the day. Let's get into the first segment of the day, and that would be our 5 headlines now. So let's do this. All right, 5 headlines now. Let's see what you guys have to say. I really wish I could play the NFL theme song for segments like this, but they're gonna have to they ban that stuff. So maybe I'll have to get some people to hum it, record it, and then play it for these segments. All right, Lions receiver Isaiah Williams out to prove doubters wrong, no matter the role he plays. This is from USA Today. I would say this. I know we've been speculating on the 53-man roster who's going to make it. I know on mine I had him making it because he can play special teams. He could be potentially your emergency backup quarterback number 3, and he can be a wide receiver for this team. So what are your guys' thoughts? I think he's in. I think he's in like Flynn unless something really egregiously happens. But I am going to have my updated 53-man roster out tomorrow or maybe Tuesday at the latest, and we can debate it more at that point. If you guys have any thoughts on Isaiah Williams, though, throw them in the comment section. All right, Detroit Lions roster predictions 2.0. Who's in and who's out after win over Chiefs? This is from mlive.com, Kyle Mikey. So, hey, if this one, just so you know, you have to subscribe to M Live to be able to get this one. So go ahead and check it out if you can. If not, I'm sure somebody within a few days will have it out online so you can read it. But I think there are probably some people moving and falling on that roster bubble. There are some guys that I think played very, very well. Some people that I'm going to go out on a limb and guess have impressed the casual Lions fan or even the most intricate Lions fans. All right, next would be Hendon Hooker rebounds from critical error, leads the Lions to victory over Chiefs! Exclamation point. And you know what? I didn't even record this morning who wrote this. So we'll just go with sources unknown. Provide this one. But anybody who watched the game, like I'm sure just about everybody here watching did finish up and watch the contest. We can say this: Hendon Hooker's got a lot of potential. He's got a lot of things to still learn too. You can still see the physical nature of this guy, the big arm, the fact that he's got live legs. He can take off all over the field. He did not truck anybody. He did slide yesterday, and there were some good things. It was not perfect, but really, what do you want to see, especially out of a rookie quarterback? And yes, I still list him as a rookie because, yes, he was on the roster last year, but we all get incredibly limited due to the injury. So did we see significant improvements from week 1 to 2? In my opinion, yes. You can have a different opinion. That's okay. But I liked what I saw. It would be my anticipation going into the final preseason game. Man, if you're really on board with him being number 2, I would say you got to give him every rep possible. Throw him out there and give him a half. Give him the game if you want. Nate Sudfeld, I think, did look better. Wasn't perfect by any means, especially some of his out route accuracy. But could that be improved upon with another game or so? We'll have to see what the Lions coaching staff elects to do. See, two Lions first stringers in danger of losing starting jobs ahead of 2024 NFL season. Clutch points, story by Ben Strauss. So this story, I threw it in there for one specific reason. You want to look for something that I'm like, why is this even a story? This might be the poster child for it. So in Strauss's story, he's got, man, could it be that Gibbs replaces Montgomery at the starting running back spot? I think that is a strong possibility. Could it be that Khalif Raymond is no longer the number 2 wide receiver and Jamison Williams replaces him as the number 2 receiver? I think that's also a strong possibility. But while you do read that, while I'm kind of laughing at those 2 points, I would also say there are some real good points about all the people mentioned as far as their impact on the team, and that's why I'm bringing it up. So you want to check it out this morning or later today, go read Ben's story. All right, the last of our 5 headlines now. What's being said nationally after the Lions beat the Kansas City Chiefs in entertaining exhibition? MLive.com had this, and it is up today. It is a free article to read, so you don't have to pay for it. But the one thing I would say is the Lions are getting a lot of credit nationally. If you go ahead and read through it, they've got some linked articles, I could say, from the Kansas City Star talking about the game. You have Pro Football Focus talking about Jake Bates, his emergence for the team. You have ESPN having some takeaways from across the league, not just our game, but our game is mentioned in there. So you want to check that out. You have a little bit more from the Kansas City Star, and then For the Win was something I've never heard of before, talking about, of course, the behind-the-back pass. That, yes, it was an impressive one, but, man, they killed that thing to death throughout that telecast yesterday. All right, with the 5 headlines out of the way, let's go ahead and get over to the next segment before the main topic, and that will be the NFC North news. All right, let's dive into this. Green Bay Packers, Denver Broncos have a few chippy moments in the joint practices Friday, Colorado, and this is from the Green Bay Press Gazette. It does sound like the NFL is going to step in regarding these joint practices, whether it's because of what happened with the Giants and the Lions or 20 billion other teams in the league that have had joint practices and have had some chippy moments, as the Gazette points out. I think you're going to see this offseason the NFL put together some language pertaining to penalties, how it will impact not just the players, but the coaches and the teams if they can't police this better. And this is just another area or another opportunity for the NFL, the Shield, to step in and say, yeah, this is not good. It's not a good look for us. We need to remove this from the game. All right, Vikings put J.J. McCarthy on injured reserve, signed quarterback Matt Carroll, the Minnesota Star Tribune. And this is, hey, you want to know when you're not exactly there as a reporter yet, when they list your byline as Star Tribune staff. So they don't want to exactly pay you that credit. So yes, if you write something for a publication or newspaper and they don't put your byline on there, they don't have to pay you as much. So, hey, give some credit to the Minnesota Star Tribune for saving a few bucks there. All right, Bears versus Bengals scores, takeaways, Caleb Williams, sharp in home debut. Chicago rolls in week 2 preseason game, CBS Sports. So I know it's been the talk a little bit yesterday, even during the live cast, that, hey, Caleb Williams looked pretty good, had a rough start, but then obviously kicked it on, turned it up a notch, and the Bears defense looked incredibly good. The Bears play a more aggressive, assertive style, so especially in preseason, where everybody's keeping it very vanilla, I think those type of defenses tend to rise up a little bit more in the preseason. Just like I know when the Lions played the Giants, that was one of the things the MCDC kind of mentioned, how many blitzes and different blitzes the Giants put on the Lions to try to contain their offense. And he said, we're not really worried about that. That's something we would handle for the regular season. We were keeping everything pretty basic for the guys out there. But he did mention that it did make it hard on some of their quarterbacks. So did Sudfeld look better, noticeably better this week versus the first week because he wasn't facing 20 blitzes? It is a possibility. So, all right, without further ado, let's go ahead and get over to the main topic of the day. All right, main topic of the daytime, winners and losers after yesterday's game. How are you feeling about the Detroit Lions? That's what I've got thrown at you for the main topic. So let's go through a few things here and start with this at the top and just work our way down. And I don't have a special pop up for everybody, but let's start with the quarterback position. Hendon Hooker, what do you guys think? And we'll get to the comment section, but my opinion, Nate Sudfeld did look much better, a lot more relaxed. He did go up against some Kansas City starting defensive players, their first string for a bit before Hendon Hooker did take over in the second half. My opinion, and it's just my opinion, Hendon Hooker is your future if you're going to keep either one of these guys for your backup. I'm rolling with him. I just think there's more upside. And it's nothing against Sudfeld. He did look better. He had some moments. But anytime you've been in the league that long and you still have accuracy issues, that's a worry to me. Now, could you also say, and this would be the debate for us as viewers watching the games, I think there's a lot of things popping up for the Detroit Lions where offensively they look pretty dang good. One thing I would say is I am starting to have some concerns about the depth at wide receiver. Now, if you go back to my first 53-man roster, I have Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, Khalif Raymond. I've got full faith in all three of those guys. Where I'm losing some faith is Darius Fountain. I don't think he's going to make the team. I did have him on the team. I'm not so certain that's going to happen anymore. So does it mean does Donovan Peoples-Jones take that fourth spot? And to be honest, neither guy has really stood out to me. Have they to you? Are you going to bank a depth wide receiver spot on two guys that haven't shown up? Isaiah Williams has shown up. The only problem is him, Khalif Raymond, and St. Brown all play the same spot as far as the wide receiver room. Now, unless Ben Johnson says, hey, we can make this work with anybody, I think the Lions are going to have to go out and get one more wide receiver. Yes, I do think Gibbs and maybe even Sonny Vaki will assume some wide receiver snaps. I just am also thinking you're going to need more than what we have in the wide receiver room. To be fair to both Sudfeld and Hendon Hooker, some of those routes, when you go back and watch the coaching film on them, I'm not so sure it's on the quarterback, some of these missed passes, as it is the route running or the lack of route running and separation being generated by any of those depth quarterback spots. All right, next one of as far as the winners, the losers, I would throw this out to you. Jake Bates, a lot of questions 2 weeks ago about this kid. A lot of questions about his accuracy. I get he had a bad week in camp where he missed 400 kicks in a row or whatever it was. But since that time, the Jake Bates that we thought we were getting from the UFL, from the Michigan Panthers, seems to have come back. He started camp off very strong. Then he had the bad week. Now, last week and this week, it's been pretty dang good. He did miss an extra point. I'd have to go back and watch the film to see if that's on him, if it's on the hold, if it's on the snap. I mean, to be fair, it can be on something other than the kicker himself. So, but he's made a number of field goals all outdoors, hit a couple of big, long 50-plus yarders, and yes, in New York, in the bad weather, he had one from 53 yards in very bad weather. Yesterday's weather was pretty good. I don't know about the wind, but I would say it's been an impressive start for Jake Bates. Now, I didn't have time to make little pop-ups for everybody. Apologies. But I would say the next one I'll talk about is the offensive line. If you go back to the 53-man roster, I have us keeping 10 offensive linemen, with the thought process being Giovanni Manu, Duke Clemens, Christian Mahogany, Kobe Scoresdale. They're all very young, very much developmental process, or in the developmental process for this team. And then you would keep Dan Skipper as well. But I think they're all going to make it. What we saw yesterday, and I know MCDC talked about it real quick. He talked about, man, he thought they really did well. And we were talking about it all on air. Everybody who was watching it with the live cast yesterday, the offensive line, whether it was playing for Sudfield or Hooker, was not a problem yesterday. They gave more than ample time for any quarterback that dropped back to pass. Doesn't mean it was perfect. Doesn't mean nobody didn't get sacked or whatever. But overall, you could see a massive improvement from week 1 against the Giants to yesterday. And you know what? I want to go over and throw a little bit of video at you guys with the MCDC talking about it. So let's go ahead and bring that up and put it on screen. Get this going, and give me just 1 second, por favor.
Going. Big crowd. That's what I'm talking about. The faithful. That's right. Let's start with this. Look, that's a heck of a win for our guys. The players that played in that game, a bunch of young guys, some of our role players, backups, things of that nature, working to get better. And, man, I thought they went in there and competed. It wasn't perfect, but overall it was a vast improvement from last week. And that's really what you're looking for out of each player and in the units in general is, man, you want to see growth and you want to see them get better. And I just thought they really did. They fought. We chipped away at the lead and found a way to finish it there at the end. Jake Bates, that's a big kick, and so here we go. That's 2 weeks in a row. He hits 53 and a 55-yarder and then hits a game winner. So, every time he does something like that, you gain a little more confidence in him. So that was really good to see. There's a number of guys that stood out in this game. Pascal there at the end, that was a big play. Bo plan, picks it up.
All right, got to cut it off there just because I don't want to risk going too long with the video and then having YouTube jump all over my back, whatever. All right, so what do you guys think, though? I think the Lions showed a lot of strong growth from a number of spots. We talked about the offensive line. We talked about Jake Bates. We talked about the quarterback position. But now, I know he just briefly mentions it there towards the end, right before I've got to cut it off, but he brings up Josh Pascal, Levi Onwuzurike also, and the defense as a whole. Our backups on defense, I thought played, other than 3 plays against Kansas City Chiefs, I thought they were pretty spot on. I thought they really did what they could to maintain and contain the Kansas City offense, which we all get is pretty dang good. Patrick Mahomes, he might have a future in this league. He might do something, let alone with Travis Kelce and some of the other weapons they have. All right, you guys kind of heard me talk about it, but what do you think of the offensive line, the wide receiver room, the defense as a whole, to be fair, Jake Bates, and anything else you want to throw in there? Let's get on over to the comment section and get this thing going and see what you guys have to say. I just got to get to the top of the screen. There we go. All right, JDC, good morning, all. Good morning to you, too. Robert, woo! Good morning to you, too, Robert. Robert, greetings and salutations back at you. Robert, good game to evaluate many players. I would agree. This game really stood out, and I know, my opinion, the last game, if you're on the coaching staff, and we'll probably talk about this all week long, there's no way you're putting out anybody of significance in that game. It's anybody battling for the final roster spots. I really feel like you're only going to have 30 guys that are going to take to the field this game. And you know what? You're going to win. You're going to win with it. You're going to lose with it, and you're not going to care either way. You just do not want to risk anybody of significance for this team's future or present out on the field. Robert, Hooker throws with velocity. He does. He's got to control some things, but you know what? He's a rookie. What do you expect? Let's see, Burger Time. Good morning, Duke Crew and Coach Dan the Man. 1 week closer to Lions football. Woo! And I agree, man. We are getting real close to it. And just for you, just because we've had a few woos, figured I'd throw that in there. All right, Robert, Coach Dan, good game as a play-by-play announcer. As always, thanks for that, man. I enjoyed doing it. Hey, we'll keep working on it, trying to find more stuff to add into it, make it a little bit more interactive for everybody. Michael D, greetings and salutations, Coach and Duke crew, exclamation points, Super Bowl or bust, one pride, woo, woo. And good morning to you too, Michael. David, wow, we have talked about the depth of our Lions. Now we've seen it. We go to their town, take on the Super Bowl winners, playing their starters, and win. Woo! Yeah, and if you weren't a Lions fan or a Kansas City fan, you're watching that game yesterday, would you have been aware that the Lions were playing backups against the Kansas City's offense and defense? I'm not so sure you would. I think you would have been pretty impressed. Man, this Detroit Lions defense is looking pretty dang good. Robert, team of destiny might just be Dave with our seconds and thirds, fourths. Yes, that's the impressive part. The depth of this team looks real outstanding. And just think about the secondary. The fact we were able to maintain coverage, other than there were a couple busted plays, but we were able to maintain coverage with Kansas City's projecting starting unit and get pressure on Patrick Mahomes with the backups. That's impressive stuff to me. JK, KC can't beat us even in preseason. That proved to be true, my friend. Proved to be true. Jason, throw some money at that hooker, 100%. I think they may have to in a few years. Jason, Sudfield looks terrible, then great, then terrible. Yeah, a lot of inconsistency. I think if he can get his accuracy under control, you'd have something there. The only problem is, again, he's not a rookie. He's been in the league for a while. And the fact that he's still got those accuracy issues, I mean, who knows? I think next week, maybe he does get it cleaned up a little bit more. Say, Jesse Green, salutations, y'all. Great improvement from the first preseason game. Make sure we all hit that like and sub button for Dan and the Duke Crew. Yeah, if you guys haven't yet subscribed, if you haven't yet hit the like button, thumbs up button, whatever, go ahead and consider doing so, pretty please. Por favor. All right, Jason, Dan drinks Coke and not do during the game. Question mark, I almost unsubscribed. Yeah, man, like I said, I tried to find a dude, just didn't do it. Didn't have enough time to stop over at the K and get one before the show, so I had to improvise, man. Had to do some improvisation. Michael D, our second string D-line against Kansas City's first string O-line held their own. Oh, yeah. And yes, they did, man. I think there are going to be a lot of good players from that D-line that the moment they're released from Detroit, they're gone. Somebody's jumping on them because these guys are showing up. And it's not just one or two guys. You're having a lot of guys that last week, this week, are showing up on tape. All right, Big Eddie, good morning, everyone. Our depth looks pretty good everywhere on the team other than quarterback and wide receiver. I think we need to upgrade those badly. The quarterback spot, it will be interesting what the team does, and we've already kind of talked about that. Maybe they make a move to go sign Ryan Tannehill or whoever, they're going to go after. Steeman Willie Beeman, maybe. Wide receiver room, I think I could definitely see the more that I watched the game tape last night, once everybody went to sleep or whatever, and went back and watching some of the route running mechanics and the lack of separation. That's where I think more the fact that these guys haven't done it after, basically a month of preseason training. That's where I'm thinking the Lions might want to make an addition there. One, maybe two, because again, not to beat the dead horse, but I'm just not seeing much out of Fountain, and you're not seeing much out of Donovan Peoples-Jones. And if those are probably your two guys that you're projecting to occupy the X receiver spot, other than Jameson Williams, I would look to make an upgrade there if it was me. All right, Robert, I saw that. Yeah, 100%. Now, the question is, where do you go to get that upgrade? I see Jason, backups of destiny might just be Robert, tree of towel. Yes, I agree. Jason, of course you do. Voltron Force, good morning. The secondary look real good, deep. Yeah, and you go through who I'm projecting. If you guys don't remember, I'll walk you through it real quick. So for me, the cornerback room will be Carlton Davis, Rakestraw, Arnold, Vildor, Robertson. Those are your five. Maybe you keep a six. I don't know, but we'll go with those for now. The third layer of the defense, the safeties, Kirby Joseph, Brand of Joseph, no relation, Brian Branch and Ife Melifanu. So I think there's a lot of depth and a lot of solid depth there. So we'll see if my predictions hold water. But either way, I think this team's going to be pretty dang good and hard to throw on more often than not. J.K. Goff thought it was Cam Newton. Thought he was Cam Newton with a wet towel on his head. Yep, trying to beat the heat out there, I'm guessing. See, Robert, it seems like Chicago has a good team. Potentially, Caleb has them believing. He did. He struggled a little bit at the start, but then he got things going. I get it's against vanilla defenses. I get nobody's game planning. So the first month of the season, if he comes out and he shines, you might have something there in Chicago. If he struggles with the pre-snap, post-snap reads, moving off progressions, trying to use his legs too much, that's where I think he gets in trouble. All right, Captain America, what do you got? Steve Rogers, Chicago is looking strong, but it is preseason. Correct, yeah. And I know everybody's going to mention this. The year we went 4-0 in the preseason, we didn't win a game in the regular season. See, JK, on paper, Chicago Bears look very good. They are looking pretty dang good. Bo, fun game, Duke Crew, question mark. Woo! I thought it was, man, especially the ending. A lot of stuff to keep you entertained. See, Robert, 13 sacks per game should have them rethinking the hope thing. There you go. Yeah, if we get 13 sacks a game, we're going to be all right. Anthony, good morning, Duke Crew. Back at you. Thanks for all you do. Sosimo, that game yesterday was pretty fun to watch. I was surprised. Yeah, I think it kept everybody pretty entertained. It wasn't like the first game where there's just no offense. A lot of that, yes, the weather, people, getting out there for the first time. Yesterday was actually a game. Southwest, good morning, all. We are getting welcome rain in Mesa, Arizona this morning. Hey, enjoy the rain. Hopefully it's a good day for you, Southwest. Have a good morning, too. Phil, greetings and salutations. Back at you, Phil. Anthony, if our second string can hold the Super Bowl champs, our first must be unbelievable. Yeah, you get everything out there and you start game planning. Yeah, I think we might have a pretty good D in Detroit. See, Jason Caleb Williams looks confident and shifty. Mahomes-like. The NFC North is looking very strong. Outside of really the Minnesota Vikings this year, I mean, they do have some weapons, the Vikings, but it looks like Chicago's going to be decent. It looks like Green Bay is going to be decent, and looks like Detroit's going to be. Who knows? Maybe Minnesota does pull something together too. If they do, this is going to be a very tough division. Nobody's going undefeated in it, in my anticipation. France, I think the North will end up being the best division in the NFC. That could be, totally could be, 100%. See, Robert, did you see Betsack? Nice, yeah. He used a nice leverage move there, dipped outside, came back inside. The tackle just did not even get his hands on him to slow him down, and yeah, it was over. See, Jason crushed him 100%. JK, Vikes will go fourth ranked now. Yeah, I don't see them being very competitive this year in the division. They do have weapons, though, so you never know. I'd see Stephanie, good morning, boys. Exclamation point. I'm feeling very good about Baki and many of the young guys. They look good. Oh, solid, excuse me. Yeah, Baki, we talked about it ad nauseum yesterday in the broadcast. This kid's real. What you were seeing yesterday, that's what, as a USC fan, that's what I watched when he really had his breakout performance that, got the eyes of the nation on him as not just a defensive player, but as a offensive threat. And you can see that emerge. He's a big dude, too. He's not small. You see his shoulders and his core. He's got some size on him. I do think they're going to flex him at wide receiver at times, like they will Gibbs, and I think he's going to be pretty effective with that. As far as some of the other guys, let me know your guys' thoughts, but I think Giovanni Manu is by far superseded expectations this preseason. That doesn't mean I want him out there in the regular season, but his progression from last week to this week is noticeable. Now, his progression from OTAs to when they played against the Giants, I also thought was noticeable. He's not ready for prime time. I'm not trying to say that, but the fact that he's out there and performing at a higher and higher level, to me, that might be one of the most impressive things about the development of this team that you're seeing. A lot of the other guys, I think you expect growth out of them. It's just seeing all of them come up so quickly, but we do have to take it with a grain of salt. It is the preseason. All right, Southwest, yes, Caleb does remind me of Holmes, very elusive. There you go. See, Anthony, we will definitely see when games that count and everyone's best is in there what teams are made of. Chicago fans talking Super Bowl, watching preseason funny. Hey, Lions, as fans, we've been duped by that before. It's been a while, but it has happened before. See, JK, special teams, have it hard on that new kick return change. Yeah. And if there's one thing that really worries me, it is the special teams coverage, the kickoffs, the fumbled punts, the fumbled kickoffs. Some of that will be changed, though, and cleaned up as we get to the regulars. At least we better hope so. Darcy, good morning, all. Back at you. Anthony, our number 4 wide receiver, Isaiah Williams, might have to be right now because I'm not sure if I have faith in anybody else but him as far as the depth. Southwest Lions, good as the Bears look. It is preseason. Didn't the 2008 Lions go unbeaten in the preseason? They did. And yes, and then went 0-16 as Anthony. I see his comment next. Yes, so that is true. You got to take it with a grain of salt, anything that happens in the preseason. Trey, what's good, everyone? Question mark. The only thing I'm now wondering is depth at the X receiver. Hey, we think alike. I feel as though we have a lot of the slot guys and no outside receivers. And that's where I'm at with things. I think Williams is pretty dang good. I think Khalif Raymond's good. I think, obviously, Amon-Ra St. Brown's through the roof. But the outside receivers right now, I would say, man, you got Jameson Williams and that's it. Unless somebody else really turns on the Jets. And I think some of the depth that we have that we're going to be cutting from this team, we've got to go out and find somebody else that can help occupy those outside sidelines. All right, Southwest, yep, I think the Bears are going to be better than last year. The son I've seen North is going to be the Bear, pun intended. Okay. The Bean, greetings, salutations, Coach and Duke Crew. Special teams needs work, but they also won the game for us. No doubt, Bates being our kicker now. Ball security was bad, both on returns. Lions beat Chiefs. Woo! Yeah, Jake Bates, I think, he's probably at this point calmed down any of the naysayers or questioners, doubters, or whatever. He's not going to be perfect this year. The kid's still got a lot of room to grow and develop, but that's also this plus side. You cannot teach his leg. You can't teach what he does. You can teach more accuracy to him, and I think that's why they haven't brought in anybody else. Let's see, Anthony, all preseason is a chance to evaluate our depth and get our rookie reps. Yeah, get them developing into NFL players, and I think you're spot on with that. J-Mo is our wideout. Yeah, he is. And could we make a move to get more? Absolutely. See, Southwest, the Lions, backup offensive line, gave quarterback solid pass protection. They did. That's probably the most impressive part of the game from yesterday to me, other than the defense, playing great, but just so much good to take out of yesterday's game. Robert Hatman, you up yet? Good game. There you go. JK, who our best kick returner? Who is our best kicker returner? That point, I do not know, man. I just don't know at this point. There's a lot to be desired still. See, Anthony, I don't see Donovan Peoples-Jones making the cut. Yeah, and I didn't have him making it. I'm getting more and more entrenched on that stance now. See, Southwest Line, I thought Donovan Peoples-Jones was supposed to be quick, but I don't see him getting much separation. Yeah, not much at all. And that's part of the problem. Him and Fountain. So they're doing it, allegedly, they're doing it in training camp and everything. And I do get they have, but it's not translating to the field. And that's 2 straight weeks. I think they're both donezo. Robert, how many broskies does it take to lose 11 games? We'll find out. The Bean, also, I'd like to add that Hooker looked much more comfortable in pocket. You could see him quickly work through his progressions. It was really great to see him start to get comfortable. Yeah, and that's what you want with a rookie. You want him to just keep developing, keep growing, keep learning the differences from where he came from in college to where he is now. So I'm with you there. Anthony, Mahomes trying to be flashy. Tell he is a great quarterback. He is, man. He's very, very rare. Robert, Hooker just needs snaps. He is perfect for us. Yeah, I think long-term, he's going to be a pretty nice addition to the Lions. Southwest, I know it was against backups, but he was playing with backups too. Hooker showed a lot of improvement over game 1. I agree with that fully. I think you could see the noticeable improvement from him, among other people. JK, Hendon Hooker looks like the future. He could be, man, 100%. Hookadoo, good morning, Coach and Super Bowl bound Duke Crew. Roar, Detroit, 1,000%. And good morning to you too, Hookadoo. See, Hookadoo, morning, Bergs and Anthony. There you go. Anthony, morning, brother Hookadoo. Motor City Paulie, Vaki really stood out when he went to him. He's going to be a weapon. He is. The Lions running back depth. I mean, Knight looked pretty good yesterday, I thought, too. I think Craig Reynolds, I think he's in trouble. And I like the guy. I still trying to get him to do an opening thing for us. He might be resistant because he might be aware that he's on the bubble and not on the right side of the bubble. But all the Lions running backs that have been out there have stood out. Robert, another fantastic draft. It is looking that way. Hookadoo, yeah, that behind the back pass, I was like, what the heck? Yes, it was impressive. Berg time, morning, Hookadoo. The Bean, hey, Coach, do you think, who do you think is trending up and trending down after that game? Trending up, man, it had to be everybody, in my opinion, Bean. The only people trending down to me, I'm hoping Sudfeld can still, he did look better yesterday than the first week. He needs to continue that trend to make this team. The receiver room is basically the only thing I would say is trending down. And I've already kind of mentioned why, but everything else, at least in my view, was through the roof. I'll throw one other thing that trend down. It is the punt and kickoff returns. They've got to have better ball security. Matthew Green, citation. Good morning, everyone. Superdome, Super Bowl, woo, woo, woo. All of the above, my friend, and just for you. All right, Anthony, good morning, Bergs. JK, one more meaningless but critical preseason game to build the 53-man roster. Yes, and that's where the value lies, in the reps and the ability to ascertain the talent on the team. See, Southwest, Isaiah Williams looks like he might make the team. Yeah, I've got him making the team. Let's see if it happens. Don, if you were saying Hendon Hooker can't play at this level, you don't know ball. Yeah, I think he's looking like a pretty big weapon. There's no way you could put him on the practice squad. He'd be gone, and potentially, I'll even throw this out there, I think he might even be a starter for a few teams looking for a youth movement. I think you'd get him out there and get him developing. If he didn't have Goff in front of him, he might be on a team that wasn't talented. I could see them investing a season into him just to try to develop him more. All right, Matthew, good morning, bird time. 9 drinks, big kicker, big kicks already. Yes, and the fact he hasn't missed this preseason, I get the extra point. But again, I'd have to watch the film to see who it's on. See, Robert, Jason Berry of Destiny. There you go. Burger time. Good morning, Anthony. Anthony, hit that thumbs up. Yes, pretty pleased with Mountain Dew on top. Hit that thumbs up button. Morning, Matt says Burger time. Southwest. I don't understand why they had Iffy playing as much as he did. The reps could have been given to other players who need the evaluation. Hey, that's just a coaching call. And, thankfully, there were no key injuries yesterday that I'm aware of. Skipper, I know, rolled his ankle, but that was really about it, I believe. JK Skipper to the practice squad, that could happen. I don't think there'll be the demand to acquire Dan Skipper that there would be for Manu Mahogany or some of the other ones. See, Don Burr, Southwest Line, what's up, dude? Haven't seen you in a while. There you go. Yes, it's good to see Southwest popping up more and more, it seems like, in the last week or so. Let's see, Motown Mitch, greetings, salutations, coach in the Duke crew. Lions rule, Bears drool. Can you believe the Lions thirds and fourth stringers kept up with the defending Super Bowl champs 1s and 2s? It was impressive, my friend. Southwest Dan, it's a little bit after 4 a.m. here, so it's a bit early for me. I'll be checking in more, though, as the season begins. Good to see that, my friend. I know it's a different time zone, vastly different one, but hey, I'm glad to have you back, my friend. Berg time, so excited for this season, 100%. Don, okay, all of the above. See, Matthew, what do you got? Patrick Mahomes still got not a game against Jared Goff team. That's should probably throw that out in tomorrow morning show. The Lions or any team that Goff has quarterbacked has still never lost to Patrick Mahomes. All right, Brent, good morning, everyone. Boom, boom, Bates wins the game. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and he's looking like something, man. I wonder if next week maybe they have him try a 70-yard field goal. The only thing I would think would prevent that is just keeping his confidence high. All right, Don, Southwest Line, 4 a.m. A question mark. Wow. If I may ask where you at, he's, I want to say in Arizona. Yeah, I think he said that earlier, something like that. 2? Yes. AZ. Yes, Arizona. Anthony, watching our seconds against their first, more than excited. 100%, man. 100%. Motown Mitch, Chiefs had to pull out trick plays just to try and beat our depth. This is also true. They had to use a couple gadget plays. I get it's preseason. You want to work on everything. But the fact that you had to go to those to get first downs, hey, good for our defense. Good for AG and everybody involved. Patrick Hooker looked far and away better than Sudfeld. The whole offense looked faster and more energized. Probably a lot of truth to that, Patrick. Merc time and true, Anthony. Let's see, Derek, good morning, coach and crew. I was not impressed with the offensive line, defensive line, or special teams, but a nice win overall. Okay, there you go. I mean, hey, nothing wrong with that, my friend. See, Southwest, that end around run by Sudfield for a first down, slowest I've seen by a player move running since open space. Yeah, he doesn't have that burst of speed. Otherwise, that could have been a massive gainer. See, Don Hooker can ball. He should have started the game. It'd be interesting to see why the coaches didn't, but I don't think they're ever going to reveal that to us. See, Server, good morning, coach, and everyone. Back at you. Don Burr, what do you got? Donovan Peoples-Jones, route running, so slow developing. Yeah, and I think he's in real trouble. Derek, Isaiah Williams, Vaki, and Robertson look good. Yeah, and Robertson, I know we talked about Vaki and Isaiah. Amik, man, his coverage, he's pretty sticky. I mean, that's one of the reasons we look good on the defense is what he was doing. And he's not the only one in the secondary. The whole secondary needs some credit, but he really stood out to me and has stood out. I will not be surprised against the Rams if he's starting. Silver Surfer, hit that like. Yes, if you would, please hit the like button, the thumbs up button. Chris, greetings and salutations. Greetings and salutations. Love James Houston, but I think he's on the bubble. I would agree. I get he was hurt or whatever a little bit yesterday, but sometimes, though, you got to be available. I like the guy, but you got to make plays, and you got to be on the field to make plays. Frank Tank, what up, though? East Side, woo, woo! Go Lions, 100% Tank. Good to see you, my friend. See, Don Vilder had an excellent game versus their ones. He did. Him, Robertson, I mean, you're starting to see really the depth of the Lions stand out. Anthony Fountain, Donovan Peoples-Jones out. I think that's probably going to be true. See, Southwest Lion, Donovan Peoples-Jones doesn't look quick to me, not getting the separation from what I've seen. Yeah, and it's just where do the Lions go from here? You got to have somebody, and that's the big question I've got. Chris, Betts is a beast. There we go. J.K. Scoresdale, not it. All right. Derek, I think Vilder and Dorsey will have a chance when the music stops. Will they have a chair, when the music stops. If they both make it, it'll be interesting to see. Does that mean we keep 6 DBs? I do think there's some chance for that, Derek, so could be. Vildor impressed me, 100%, Anthony, 100%. Michael, we got. Find it hilarious that non-Lions actual fans think this is the regular season Lions team. Laughing out loud. No, I think they're just evaluating the depth and stuff, having a good time with it. Let's see. Frank the Tank. Bates has got to hit those extra points, though. Come on, man. I can't kick it left foot and the right foot and make it over there, and I'm 50 years old. I play soccer my whole life. Yeah, and again, without going back and watching the tape, is it a bad snap? Is it a bad hold? Who knows, man? But I'm sure they'll get that corrected there, Frank. See, Southwest, these chippy moments in training camp and joint practice are not surprising. Bottom of the roster players are trying to make the roster. Yeah, and that's where I think you got to be careful that one of those guys trying to go over the top, to make the roster doesn't do something to impact somebody else's playing future, especially someone who's in the 1s or 2s. Courtney, good morning, Duke crew. Woo! Good morning to you too. Miles, good morning, coach and crew. Fun game. Thinking only a few new injuries. Yeah, and all of them seemed fairly minor to me. Let's see. Phil Pascal playing with the 3s. I think it was maybe a little bit in the fourth quarter. I don't know. I'd have to go back and check. But I do know him and Levi did get some reps indeed. See, Ronald, what do you got? Nate did look better, but still not good enough for a backup. I'm probably with you there. I wouldn't feel satisfied with him being the number 2 quarterback, but we'll see what they do. Courtney, Vaki, Hooker, Zay Williams, Bates all had solid play. I agree with that fully, 100%. Derek Pascal forced a fumble, but otherwise he was not a factor. Could he be on the bubble too? That's a big question. Phil Hooker was mid at best. Fun to watch him play. He's only going to get better. Yeah, he'll get better, 100%. Especially with his inexperience in the NFL, the more reps you give him, I think the more you'll see his upside. See, Don, I think Pascal needs reps. He's been hurt too often. He has been hurt a lot. JK, I would keep Nate as emergency quarterback just this season because he knows the schemes. Yeah, I could totally see that, JK, where they keep him on the practice squad or something like that. Totally, 100% see that. Phil, Vaki plays both ways. He does. He could, and he does play special teams too. So if you had to ask me right now who's going to be the special teams punt kickoff returner, I think Vaki's out there. Probably him and maybe Khalif Raymond. Although if they don't address the depth of the wide receiver room, you might have to keep Khalif Raymond off special teams. Let's see, Hookadoo, what do you got? So when Detroit Lions win the Super Bowl, will Goff and MCDC be doing their State Farm TV commercials? One Pride, I can see that. I'm actually surprised MCDC hasn't gotten some commercial opportunities at this point. All right, Southwest, I think Lions shutting down their kicker debate has probably helped Bates with his confidence. Yeah, and they probably saw something in him saying, hey, this is all coachable stuff. We can develop him. See, Server, okay, Isaiah Williams is a slot like Khalif and Saint. Why the heck do they not sign? Why the heck did they sign him, though? Just for depth, opportunity. He was an undrafted free agent, or rookie free agent, so I'll go with they saw the potential in him. That potential is real, but they're going to have to get some outside receivers, I believe, at some point. And I get it's not as prominent of a need as it used to be, but I do think they're going to need at least one more sound wide receiver. Nan, I will say this from Isaiah Williams to Vaki to Caden, none of those are burners, all pretty slow. Yeah, and that's the other part of it. Right now, your burners are all Gibbs, obviously Jameson Williams, and then Khalif Raymond. So I agree with you there. Anthony Bates said he thought it was a good kick, just left. Okay, there you go. Burger Time, O-line stepped up yesterday. Yeah, I thought they looked massively better. Don Burr, O-line equals Coach Hank Fraley this year, man. Yeah, I am surprised Hank Fraley hasn't got head coaching opportunities. He has got to be one of the best positional coaches in the NFL. See, David, Silver St. Brown played more snaps at wide receiver last year than in the slot. Okay, we'll go with that. Courtney, yes, I forgot O-line was solid. D-line hustled well, too. There you go. Southwest, well, Davis, I read can run a 4.4440, but he's reasonably quick. I'll go, all right. And he has gotten some reps with the ones as well, Caden Davis. So, yeah. Anthony, I'm really impressed with our D. They stepped up. They did big time, 100%. The Bean O-line did play well. I reviewed a lot of the plays and saw each of them winning battles. Manu looks better for sure. Scoresdale looked good in many matches. Assignments were better executed. Yes, I think we're on board with that one. Gary, hey, Don Berg, good game, no injuries. I would have preferred winning, but what you going to do, right? 8. There you go. Right. All right. Jason, Superdome or bust, 1,000%. Hookadoo, when can we go toe-to-toe KC's 1s and 2s with our 3s and 4s? We've got this. And that could end up being the truth right there, Hookadoo. Kim, surprised by Vildor. Donovan Peoples-Jones is close to losing a position. Did not step up. D and O lines did a great job. Hey, you start winning with those lines, add on from there. I'm with you there, Kim. Don, Gary, good morning. Yes, good game yesterday. I enjoyed it. Nice, clean game. And the thing that probably everybody should be happy, no matter which team you're supporting, is that it doesn't appear to have been any injuries. Bus driver, good morning, Duke crew. Woo! There you go. Gary, haha. Don, the offense looked good. So much fluent with Hooker at the quarterback. Yeah, more fluent with Hooker. That's probably some truth. Phil, great job on the play-by-play, Dan. Your interactive style is refreshing and a model for other channels. I see other Detroit channels copying us. Hey, if you figure something out, Scooby-Doo it. Spread it to the world, my friend. Yeah, I'm glad that it's working out, man. And thanks for that, though, Phil. Thank you very much. That's kind. See, Michael, laces were in. No, they were not out. Finkel, there you go. Ray Finkel's cringing. All right, Gary, we've got you back in the Super Bowl. There we go. We'll see you in the Super Bowl, Gary. Good to have you on as always. Don, Gary, laughing out loud, would love that matchup. Me too, man. That would be a fun one. JDC, Gary, no. All right, very good. See, Patrick, Sudfield, dimensions making, and also in question, blind man could have seen a receiver was blanketed on the interception with a cane. Yeah, and some of his decisions, as you're saying there, Patrick, weren't the greatest for sure. Ryan, like the kid said in Josie Wales, whoop them again. There you go, man. The Outlaw Josie Wales. I love that movie. That's a throwback, but I do love that one. Gary, I've liked and subscribed. Good game, guys. I'm modeling a channel myself. Hey, you need anything from me? Let me know. If not, the Duke crew can definitely help you out there, Gary. See, KC might not make the Super Bowl. Well, we will see. We will see. Michael Sudfield should be thankful after 9 years in the NFL. He still has a job. Yeah, and he's got a pretty good pension at this point, too. Phil, 6 sisters, and you're the baby. What a blessing. Yeah, my parents had 9 kids altogether, and 3 boys. I am the baby. See, Anthony, we're going to wait and all cuts and then go get a wide receiver. That could happen. And I do think it is possible that we go ahead and make a trade for 1-2 with some parts we're moving on from. What's the name of your book again? Kajora. Kajora. Yeah, and you can find it on Amazon.com, eBay, stuff like that. See, Michael, laughing out loud. Sudfield still employed. He is, and it's. We'll see what happens. John, good morning, everybody. Hope all is well with you all. Hey, back at you, John. Hopefully it's a great morning. Dave, Dan C. begged for a wide receiver to step up. Isaiah Williams did. Yes. Now, does anybody else step up? So I know MCDC is going to be working on that. John, I really loved what I saw yesterday. I was impressed. It was, good performance, definitely, by the entire team. They look like they're massively developing, improving, and that's a credit to the coaching staffs. All right, Gary, Green, sanitation coach and Duke Crew, knowing the Lions have cap space, could someone like Cortland Sutton from Denver be on the Lions' radar? That's a possibility for sure. What does it take to acquire him? That will be my question. J.K. Donovan Peoples-Jones wasn't trying, it looked. I wonder about that. Yeah, he has not stood out at all this preseason. See, Phil, Suggs saved his job. He showed some improvement. He did show a lot of improvement. Let's see, Ed, good morning, coach and Duke Crew. Brad, sign a quarterback and wide receiver. We'll see what they do, Ed. I think there could be something in the works. Don, Bears do this every preseason, not worried about the Bears. There you go. 9 Drinks, who was this Davis wide receiver? Where did he come from? He's been on the team all preseason. He has gotten some reps with the ones in training camp. Caden Davis, he's from like a smaller college. It's one of the bigger stories. If he makes the team, it'll be one of the bigger stories you'll see leading into the regular season is this kid from nowhere, small town college and all that stuff, makes the big leagues. Anthony, good morning, 9 Drinks. Anthony, he's our number 4 wide receiver. That might be. Him and Isaiah Williams could end up making the team. John, Valda is a beast, and so is Wingo. Yeah, Baki maybe. I'll go with that. Phil, special teams. Yeah, it's got to improve. You got to secure that ball. Ed, I really don't like the new kickoff rule. I get it, man. There's a lot of people that don't like it. It's going to be here to stay, I think, for a long time. See, Burke time, that's one phase that worries me right now, special teams, punt returns, and kickoff returns. And it should be a worry for us all, in my opinion, and your opinion too. Hookadoo, yes, they did, Phil. John, yes, I agree. I hate it. Mr. Ed, there you go. JK, rumors are going around that Tom Brady might sign with the Vikings. If it happens, it happens. I think at this point, it's probably not happening. That's my opinion. I don't have any kind of inside information. Phil, Gibbs at the Vaki. Yeah, I do think that you'll see them out there running routes. Where they're going to position them, that I don't know. Let's see, John Cleef Raymond will step up 100%. They've been protecting him. They have not had him out there for a reason. Phil, even the third stringers look good. Yes, they did. Iceberg Slim, Bears down, King. Okay. And good morning to you, too. Here's Johnny Hooker's quarterback ranking was 106, Sudfield 72. Hey, so they both got upside to get perfect. There we go. I like what you're doing there, Johnny. Ed, I don't like the idea of using Gibbs as wide receiver, but that will expose him to some guard hits, all right? Yeah, and it will, but, man, him in space, probably going to be deadly. Amy, good morning. Dan, Duke Crew, fabulous game. Yes, it was, Amy. Great morning. Good to see you as always. Don, I wouldn't mind if Brad Holmes went and got Treylon Burks from Tennessee for a late-round pick. Could they do it? We will see, man. I will be interested to see if they add to the roster. Anthony, why we signed Goff that contract, they knew about how long it was going to take Hooker to develop. Yeah, they probably had a clue that it would take some time to get him to be a good, stable backup quarterback. And could he potentially, beyond that, challenge Goff in the future? It is possible. Sanders, what do you got? The two dudes from Canada looked really good. Yeah, they've improved. I've been really impressed. I know I talked about it earlier in the show, but really impressed what we saw out of Giovanni yesterday. His development from where he was in rookie OTAs, man, he is a completely different player, at least yesterday. Now he's got to maintain it and continue developing. Work time and punt and kickoff return fumbles, a problem. Yeah, they've got to get rid of those. They have no business in the team. Does Goff play next week? I don't think so. I think next week is all 3rd, 4th, 29th string guys, in my opinion. See, Don Hooker would start in Minnesota right now. He would. That's probably true. Gary, how did Vaki get drafted so low? because basically, Gary, everybody viewed him as a defensive player. The Lions, apparently, if you go by everything that's reported, were the only team that viewed him as an offensive player, and that's why they went and got him. I mean, somebody else might have taken him, but it probably would have been like the 5th rounder or something like that. Lions knew in order to acquire him, they had to make the move now. All right, Burger Time. No, Ed Goff doesn't play this week. Yeah, I would think so. Don, Goff playing next week? ? You have a better chance of hitting the Mega Millions. All right, we'll go with that. I'd be okay with it. Rewatching the game right now. Enjoy it. See if you come up with some new thoughts on it, Sanders. Here's Johnny. Some players play for reps, some for jobs. Coach Dan Campbell. Yes, and hey, all the above. Let's see. Caleb. Yes, Iceberg says Caleb is King Bear. There you go. JK Bears fans, hello. All right. Don, Caleb and Hennehooker look equal. There might be a lot of truth to that. They look very good. Don, skip the Bears. Miles Marker, figure AG is a bit more enthused with these players than what he saw last year. Yeah, he's definitely got a lot more weapons to mess with, to do some things with. I think you're going to see a lot more development, more intricacies with the defense this year than perhaps past years because the talent level allows for more things. See, Iceberg, JK, then Waven. Amy, so glad injuries were minimal. Always a nail biter with the Lions. On to the last preseason game and then the regular season. Here we come. Woo! Yes, 100% there, 100%. Iceberg Dan, please talk about the Bears. Hey, we've mentioned a few things here and there this morning, so hopefully you caught that. Here's Johnny. The second string D looked better than the last year's, having years 100%. The depth is real for the Lions. The depth, the youth, and the development of so many of these younger players. Anthony, Amik is a beast. If he can stay healthy, that's why Branch moved to safety. Amik can hold that nickel. Yeah, he'll play the nickel. I think if he'll play some nickel, I think you got a lot of opportunities. I do think also Brian Branch will flex in there at times as well. Here's Johnny. All right. Timothy, what do you got? We have a great slot receiver depth. Beyond that, we have a problem at wide receiver. It will be interesting to see what they do in the next 2 weeks with the wide receiver room. Non-Lions, second and third strings defense versus Kansas City first string offense held them to 6 points. Impressive. It was very impressive. Here's Johnny. Why can't Khalif play on an outside receiver with his speed? He can, but it's going to be a challenge at times for him because he's whatever. He's like my height. He's like 5'8" or something like that. See, Patrick, if you watch the extra point, he lined up wrong. I told my son that when he was going to pull it to the left, he did line up in the way he normally did. He didn't line up the way he normally did. Yeah, so they'll fix that. That's very coachable. Here's Johnny Ass. All right. Berg time. Baki punt returns. I'm good with that. He has speed and great moving ability. Yeah, he's got a lot of agility. Let's see. Anthony, let's see. MCDC doing a Cure insurance commercial. Just seen it golf also. Yeah, okay. So they are getting out there. See, Coach, there was a MCDC selling with Sam commercial. Okay. Yeah, and they may be out there. I just don't watch a lot of TV, so I may not be as up to or hip to the jive on all of them. Here's Johnny. 1 week had one heck of a good punt return. Yeah. IW or Isaiah Williams had one good heck of a punt return. There you go. Thanks for that, Johnny. William, good morning, Duke Crew. Looks like the kicker debates are over. Yes. And unless he really changes something, I think you're with him for the whole year, and he's going to get better and better with more coaching and more development. Phil, Rustin Buck or Josie, okay? Rustin back Josie, all right. David, Green Citations Crew, exclamation point. It was good to see Hooker take a slide instead of another concussion. Yeah, somebody definitely got in his ear about that. Burger Time Bates, woo! There you go. Brian, Isaiah Williams had a great burst and out of cuts. He's going to be special. I think he's probably making this team just because, again, emergency quarterback if you need him, kickoff special teams, and receiver. Here's Johnny, Isaiah Williams, 83. Woo! There you go. Phil, our coaches outcoached their coaches. Impressive. Hey, there's probably some truth to that. They've done a very good job. They're maturing as coaches without question. Brian, huge improvement from last week across the board. I think you're 1,000% correct there. All right, see, Burger Time, Missouri State, I believe on Davis. There you go. Thank you for that, Bergs. Thank you. Here's Johnny. Ben Johnson used the most vanilla playbook, and Lions still got it done. Yes, they did. Yeah, everybody's pretty, I would think just about everybody's pretty vanilla, but Ben Johnson did a great job setting up this team. Iceberg laughing. 4-14. Lions, there you go, Iceberg. Anthony, do we really need another wideout with Ben Johnson and his ability to keep defenses guessing? I guess that will be the $1 million question leading up into the final cuts. What do we do, if anything, with the roster? Sanders, hit that like button, guys. Yes, if you would. Subscribe and hit the like button if you have not done so already. Don, Iceberg, you're scared. You're looking like, man, Detroit played their second, third string guys versus KC's ones and look good. We did look good against their top guys. Here's Johnny. The Lions' first string O-line and running backs would have stopped KC last night. They could have. That would have been nice to see what the ones would have done against their ones. Eric, let's see. Vaki being so good makes me not worry about Gibbs and Montgomery getting hurt. Yeah. And Knight, again, looked pretty good. Craig Reynolds has looked good. The running back room, man, it's going to be sad to see someone leave. Anthony, Aaron Glenn has no excuses this year. No, he's got some abilities back there. And Andy Reid looked a bit upset yesterday. Yeah, they did not perform the way he would like. Coaching, hey, man, that's part of it, man. Even in exhibition games, you expect perfection. You want perfection. Thomas Vaki proved he belongs. Hooker looked much better, as did even Nate. Overwhelmed to see the last-second field goal win. That will go far, but missing that extra point after is a concern. Yeah, they'll get it fixed up, and they'll get it corrected 100%. See, Phil, what's next for Mahomes? Between the legs, one hand behind the back? Maybe he's going to test himself. Burger Time, thank you for all you do. Dan of the Duke Crew, faithful. Woo! Anytime, man. I enjoy doing this, as you guys know. Phil, we need a 2-hour show. Fire games. There you go. Don, now Gibbs is a different animal. Vaki is cool. I'll go with that. All right, guys, if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. If there is some breaking news today, I'll get it over to you when available. Also, if you would be so kind, it takes a half-second time, free of charge. Hit that thumbs up and like button. Brian, Cortland Sutherland would be a nice fit for a big, strong, fast, and good hands. Here's Johnny. Happy Sunday, everyone. Back at you. 9 drinks. Why was Jefferson missed? That I don't know. Anthony, gentlemen, I believe we have what is going to take to win the Super Bowl. I do believe that, too. We'll have a chance for it. Hookadoo, thanks, Dan. A great show day. Hey, thanks for being here, my friend, as always. JDC, happy trails. Go Lions. Lions, says mile marker. Anthony, thanks, Dan. Have a good day. Same to you guys all. Go have a great day. Do something kind for someone you don't know. Be nice to others. And we'll see you all in the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody.
Happy trails.